One, two, three. Hi, my name is Dan Cerny. I'm a 4th grade teacher and a certified reading specialist. Today I'd like to talk a little bit about Reader's Workshop. Reader's Workshop is a way to get children invested in their reading. It's supposed to aid in comprehension as well as fluency. If you do decide to do Reader's Workshop, you need about 3 things to get you going. The first thing you need is a different mindset. The second thing you'll need is a classroom library. The third thing you're going to have are assessments to figure out where your children are at the time before you start Reader's Workshop. The first thing you're going to have is a different mindset when it comes to reading. Instead of everyone reading the same story, the same novel, each student has their own individualized book based on their reading level. The second thing that you need to have is a pretty substantial classroom library. Here in my library I have lots of nonfiction books, fiction books, picture books are over there, as well as magazines. And all of your books need to be leveled somehow, either if you decide to do it by Lexile, if you decide to do it by Fountas and Pinnell. Regardless of the way that you do it, your students have to be able to come to the library and find a book at their level. The third thing that you have to have is an assessment to determine what reading levels your students are at. I currently use a test called the SORT, which is the Slauson Oral Reading Test, which gives me an estimated reading level for each student. I also do a fluency snapshot, which gives me the fluency rate of each student. So using those 2 assessments, I have a pretty good idea of where to start with them for Reader's Workshop. If I have a more detailed question about a student, I can also do a QRI or an IRI to get more in-depth information on each student, but those are a little bit more time-consuming, and for my purposes, I need something that's quick and easy to determine reading levels and fluency for all my students. A main component of Reader's Workshop is the mini-lesson, and during this mini-lesson you have to state your objectives clearly so that the students know what they are to look for when they go back with their own books and do their independent reading. All right. So here we go. Today, the learning objective is on the board, and it's also on the whiteboard, 2 places. Today's learning objective is, it's a little different, determine how your text-to-text, text-to-self, and or text-to-world connections are helping you comprehend what you read. Now, it's different than just identifying a connection, right? Some of you have made, oh yes, this has happened to me, and oh yes, this has happened to me. But once you do that, you have to figure out, how is this really helping you understand what you read? Okay, so we're going to talk a little bit about that today with this book called William's Doll. Another kind of a weak connection might be what? It's still a connection, but kind of, let's just call it a weak one. What would be, on this page, what could be a weak connection? What do you think, Emily?
It's not very good because...
What would be the connection?
Like he has a grandma.
Yeah, I have a grandma too. Yeah, it's a weak one, right? So let's go back to the learning objective again. How are these connections helping us understand what we read? What's the point? Why are we doing it? How are they helpful? What do you think, Ben?
To help you understand the story.
Okay.
And make it more realistic.
Make it more realistic. Okay, so you can relate to maybe what the character's going through.
Yeah.
All right. When you guys go back to your desk, you're going to get your own books out, your Post-its. You're going to monitor your comprehension with connections. What's another one?
Text to self and text to world.
Excellent. Those are all the connections. What other strategies could you write down on your Post-its?
Predictions.
Predictions, fabulous.
Question.
Questions, yep.
Vocab.
Vocab, unknown vocab for sure.
Power sentences.
Power sentences, if you got one. And there's one more we haven't really talked about it too much, starts with a V. We'll get to it. We haven't got to it yet.
Visualize?
Visualize, yeah, if you want to draw a little picture, but it's kind of hard on a post-it, but you can do it. The part that I really like the best is conferencing, and I get to conference with all the students on a regular basis. And during this conference, I'm checking to see if they have the information that I required during the mini lessons. And during this time, I do multiple things, but specifically I'm looking to see if they have the learning objective that we came up with in the mini lesson. And then other reading topics as well, such as predicting, making connections, inferring, visualizing. And then we can also get into literary devices such as metaphors and similes. It all comes together in that reading conference. I really enjoy it, the kids really enjoy it, and I have great data to use for future use. Maybe, but let's keep reading this. Hold on. And then she says something else. I cat-footed it. Do you have a cat? Have you seen a cat? Have you seen it walk? A cat. How do they walk? Are they kind of dainty, or are they like a dog?
On the 2 feet?
Yeah, on their 4 feet, right? On their paw. Are they loud, or are they kind of quiet? All right. So, based on those 3 clues. How is this person walking?
Like they're trying to sneak around somewhere because they're being quiet.
Yeah.
I like Reader's Workshop because we get to read anything we want if it's at our level. I also like it because you get to do a bunch of stuff like predictions and connections and power sentences and vocabulary, and it really helps us understand the book more.
Why I like Reader's Workshop is because it helps me out and it's fun. Why it helps me out is say that in this book, a mom breaks her nose, and then in real life, your mom broke her nose. Then you know how that mom feels.
So you can help understand the story. So if you make a connection, you can help understand what the character is feeling.
I like Reader's Workshop because we get to choose our just right book, and it helps the teacher understand what we're thinking.